Hey y'all, hey Bougie Club, happy Sunday. Somebody say something, say hey, how you doing? Let me know you logged in. And we're gonna get this party started. How y'all week been going? How has your week been going? I hope your week has been going amazing. My week has been going amazing. Basically because I have um detached from the world. I guess you could say I unplugged. I quit watching the news and I'm not on social media as much as I used to be. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I've been getting some great messages and downloads from from the Lord. I want to share with you all. Hey, Miss Juliet, I want to share something with you all. So, one of the things that has been a dream of mine since I was a young girl, like in high school, was to live abroad. As you all know, last year I did a lot of traveling. We've been doing this live on the Bougie Club for about 3 or 4 years. And for me, this is ministry. For me, this is my give back. For me, this is how I find a platform and to use my gifts because I like encouraging people. I like uplifting people. But I have gotten guidance that now it's time for me to level up. I've shared with you all the story where a prophet spoke to me back in 2017 and basically told me that the vision that I had written down was bigger and that it was global. And God showed me that last year with the traveling that I did and the lives that I was able to impact. I even got the opportunity to speak to a group of women business leaders in Dubai. Before all this COVID stuff started, I had been booked to speak to a group of women business leaders in Zimbabwe, which was rescheduled for June. But with all this going on, I'm not sure how that's going to play out. But I'm saying that to tell you, even though I know that this is my gift, even though this is my passion, even though this is the path of my life that I've asked God to enlarge my territory, I was still hesitant on moving forward into my calling because I was tethered to my family. And I was wondering about, my kids. Now, let's be clear, my kids are all adults. And so I'm speaking to you guys from a place of transparency because as parents, we have a difficult time letting our children go forth into the world and live their lives as adults. And one of the things that was hard for me was the idea of leaving my children and leaving my mother in the States. Now, mind you, my mother is married. She has been married to my stepfather for 15 years, and I thank God for him daily because he takes really, really good care of her. If it was not for him, I would not be able to travel the way that I do because my mother is no longer able to live by herself. With that being said, what this COVID 19 has done for me is reinforced to me, hey, Miss Sandra, something that God has shown me time and time again, which is something I'm sure that He's shown to you, which is He is God all by Himself and He does not require my assistance. While He uses me to be a blessing towards others, my participation is not required for Him to take care of any of His children and bless any of His children. I just happen to be a vehicle in which He allows to be used to do His work. This season has been difficult for me because we're in social distancing. And even though I live in the same city with my family, I have not been able to see them. I have not been able to touch them. When I have seen them, I couldn't hug them. We've been talking on the phone, and I'm just gonna get real naked with you all. You know, my son, he's in a relationship. You all have met Diamond, and he's living his life and he's creating his family. So he's not a readily, he doesn't have the time for his mama like he used to have the time for his mama because he's stepping in the role of being a man in his family. You know, him and Diamond has a little girl, so he stepped into the shoes of being a father figure to her daughter. And if he's doing his job in his household by right, he doesn't have time to be worrying about what's going on in my household. And I'm sharing this because I'm hoping this is going to help somebody, because I had to check myself, because I saw myself being the mamas that I never appreciated in the men that I dated. So y'all know I get naked with y'all. So mothers, you have to cut the strings of the apron to your sons for yourself. If you've done your job and you've raised up a young man in the way that he should go and he can stand in his manhood, there is going to be a young lady that recognizes his strength, and she's going to want to attach to him, and she's going to want to be his helpmate. And as a mother, you have to realize that your job is done, and you have to go let that man be a man. The Bible tells us husbands cleave to your wives. So if he is choosing to be in a relationship with a young lady, you have to cut your own apron string and let your son be a man in his household, which means you don't get to participate. You don't get to participate in the decisions. You don't get to participate in lending an opinion. The only words you should be offering to your son is go to God and seek his guidance, and have open, frank communication with the woman that he's with, and figure out a way to get on one accord with her, because that is their household. I'm just telling y'all what God had to show me. I get naked with y'all because I'm hoping this to help somebody. So that was the thing with my son. I realized that he's a man now, and I have to let him stand in his manhood. So the idea that I couldn't travel and go live my life and go forth in my calling because my son needed me was a sexy lie that I had been telling myself. You know, excuses are sexy, you guys, and we will make those things up and put a face beat on them and highlighter and concealer and make them look like what they are not. Gigi has come home, and one of the things that's a priority for her is to be independent. So she's decided that she's doing Instacart. Well, in the area where we live, she wasn't getting a lot of Instacart orders. She has a friend who has her own apartment, and when she's over there, she gets more opportunities to work. So, as a woman, she's decided that her priority is to earn a living and to be able to make money for herself in this time and seize the opportunities that are available. So, as a mother, I have to allow my daughter to step into womanhood and make the decision to go stay in a different area, because that's the area that's affording her the opportunity to be gainfully employed. So on another side of town that's approximately 30 minutes away, she is able to continue to operate in her independence and provide for herself. As a mother, that is an example and demonstrating to me that I did my job in raising responsible adults. But the me in me and the flesh in me can feel some type of way because my daughter ain't trying to be at home with me. I hope this is helping somebody. You have to allow your children to stand once they get of age. Your job is done. And once your job is done, you have to redefine who you are. You have to find your new truth and move into your next season and figure out what that looks like when it's no longer your responsibility to take care of your children because you've raised them and they can take care of themselves. Now, that's my kids. My oldest girl's been away from home for a long time, so the same thing doesn't apply to her. She's been independent for quite some time. With them in their independence does not mean they still don't call and ask me questions and that they still don't ask me guidance on some things, but you have to create barriers and understand your place because you have a new role in their life. Now, another thing that was keeping me back was my mama. And I do not take for granted how privileged I am to still have my mother with me at 80 years old. I have many friends who lost their mothers long, long ago. And okay, y'all know I'm a crybaby. So I know what a privilege that is. But with all this COVID-19 going on, you guys know my mom has lupus too, but she also has interstitial lung disease. So she has respiratory problems all on her own without COVID-19. So in this season, me and the kids and the family that's here made a conscious decision that we weren't going to see my mom because we didn't want to bring anything into the house because she's vulnerable. And She's susceptible to getting COVID because of her age as well as her underlying health conditions. As a daughter, which I think all of you guys could relate, we protect our mamas like we protect our children. And my mom fell in the bathtub last week. And I cannot tell you what it felt like not to be able to go and make sure that she's okay. To go to look at her and make sure that she was okay. And for a week, she wasn't able to talk to me on the phone because she didn't have enough strength. And this was real for me because I told you last week that we had my niece's grandmother and grandfather and the lady that they took care of were in the hospital from COVID. And Miss Patriot passed of COVID week before last. So I understood the reality of this disease that is plaguing our land. And because of that, I understood that the priority was to keep my mother safe, even though she had failed and injured herself. So I couldn't go see about my mama. Now, mind you, I've been fighting God or walking into my calling because I needed to be here for my family. And with all that's going around, he showed me you can be in the same town and you still gonna have to rely on me to be me all by myself. And I say that because she's doing better now. My sister, Yvonne, I thank God for Yvonne. She went online and ordered Mama a walker because she's not able to get up without pain. And she was like, Julia, I think I need a walker. And so me and my sister were online the other night, and my sister ordered my mama a walker. But y'all, I still haven't been able to go and see my mama. But God is keeping her. My stepdad is there, and he stepped up and he's been taking care of her. And I love him for that. So there are some of you all who have parents who are going to get married, who are getting married. You have step parents. I want you to understand that there's a reason why God put that other person in their life and allowed them to become husband and wife, because there's going to come a time in your life where you're not going to be available to be all that you can be and do all that you want to do for your parent. I'm in the same city. I'm like 25 minutes away. And because it is too dangerous for me to go over there, I cannot go see and check on my mama. All I can do is hope that she has the strength to talk to me on the phone. But what God has showed me is he is him all by himself. He does not need me to do anything to keep any of his children. And I'm sharing this with you because there is many of you who have been given direction on doing something. God has called you to something, but you are allowing your ties and tethers to people to hold you back because you think that they need you. And what I'm trying to get you guys to understand, I hate it had to be COVID-19 that showed me because it's impacted so many people. But God had to show me that he doesn't need me to stay here. He needs me to go forth into the world and do his work, and that I can trust that my loved ones will be provided for and he will take care of them and he will keep them, because not only does he love them, he loves me, and he knows that I need to know that they're okay in order for me to be comfortable and moving forth into this work that he's called me to do. So I want you all to just sit back and think about what is God trying to show you in this season. Don't be distracted by the social media posts and the news and the things that are being said. If that means you have to unplug, I need you to unplug and get into your quiet space and listen to God so that he can give you direction on what you're supposed to do in this next season, because we're going to come on out on the other side of this and God has work for you to do. He's been giving you a pass for some months, for some weeks, for some years on doing what he created you to do. And I don't know who I'm talking to, but you know what it is. And you've been coming up with a whole lot of sexy excuses. Excuses that have looked like your job, excuses that have looked like your finances, excuses that have looked like your children, excuses that have looked like your mama and your daddy and your family and that house that you were living in. He has uprooted all of the things that you have been holding on to and stripped us of them and said, now you have no choice but to stand and depend on me and know I am who I am. So, Bougie Club, I'm going to ask you, do you know who you are? I keep sending y'all back to the scripture because I'm telling you, the scripture is powerful. If you look at Exodus, Moses was created for a purpose. Moses was birthed in a time where they were killing the firstborn son. But despite all of that, his mama trusted God enough that she put her son in a basket. She didn't know who was gonna get him, if somebody was gonna get him, what was gonna happen to him. She just trusted God and followed his direction. And she put her baby in a basket and sent him down the river. That's faith. That's the faith that we have to have in this season. You got to be Moses' mama in this season and this COVID-19. And then you're gonna have to shift to being Moses. You're gonna have to let go of the fact Moses had to let go of the fact that he murdered somebody. Moses had to let go of the fact that he had a speech impediment. He had to let go of all of those sexy excuses that he was using and offering up to God to keep him from walking in his purpose. So I'm asking you guys, I need you to overcome them barriers and them things that's telling you in this season so that when you go out, you can go out like Moses when we come on the other side of this COVID and you can set some free people free. Because there's still gonna be some people that's holding on to their bondage, but it's many of y'all that already got the blueprint. And I'm sharing with you all how he's working with me because I've had the blueprint for a long time. I've been telling y'all over and over that I had something else coming and I was gonna do this and I was gonna do that. And I'm gonna tell you, I choked on the clutch. I was scared. I was hesitant. I came up with other excuses. This contract took precedent, or this took precedent. But in these last 4 weeks, God has stripped me of all of that and said, now you're going to do what I've called you to do. And so you guys have been called for something. You have been created to do something. And God is God all by himself. All of those things that you've been holding on to that you think need you, that can't move and carry on without you, it's a lie. If COVID ain't showed us nothing else, it should have showed us the reality of what is important and what is not. And right now in this season, what is important is for you to do your work. It's for you to go forth into what God has called you to do, Bougie Club. I'm just telling you because he had to show me. And y'all know I don't keep anything from y'all. I get on here and get butt naked and tell y'all my truth when I'm convicted in the spirit, when I'm wrong, when I think I'm right, and I may not always be right, but that don't mean I don't think I'm right. But I'm speaking to somebody, and I just want to encourage you to be bold, outspoken, unapologetic, goodwill, inspiring, and epic today and get to working on whatever it was that he gave you. I'm giving you to the end of the month to get it executed, and we're going to execute it no matter what it looked like. You just got to start. You can clean it up later. You can put the lip gloss on it when you get in the car, but I need you to get in the car. I need you to get out the house. I need you to get out the boat. I need you to have some water walking faith in this season. If that means you have to detach from social media, detach from social media, get in your quiet place, do your morning meditation practice. Miss Tracy, I thank you, and I thank you for reminding me. Miss Tracy has been posting the videos to the 40-day meditation that we did in 2017. So if y'all need to go back to those videos, go to Miss Tracy's page. They're on her page. They're on our YouTube channel. It's time to work, Bougie Club. No longer can you be held to the things that bound you. When we come out of COVID-19, I do not want you to go back to your bondage. I do not want you to be an Israelite. I don't want you wandering in the wilderness for 40 more years. It's time for you to go to your promised land, Bougie Club. As always, you can hit me up in the inbox. You can put something in the comment. I see y'all commenting. I'm going to go and read those in a moment. As always, I'm encouraging you to be bold, outspoken, unapologetic, goodwill, inspiring, and epic every day. I love you all in this life and the next. Have a happy, happy Sunday and good night.